Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the weekly Wednesday for the Financial Freedom newsletter, where every week, every Wednesday, we delve into something inspirational, motivational, something excerpt taken from the Financial Freedom weekly newsletter. Wherever you are, if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, Google, be sure to click the like, subscribe, share, comment. And without ado, let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode. I'm really excited about today's guest, Lucy Liu, and she's the embodiment of a female entrepreneur. She's a coach, speaker. She's written books we talk about. She's also a podcast host, and she, coaches entrepreneurs. And I'm happy to welcome her to the show. Lucy, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, you inspire just by talking to you, your positive energy. It's highly infectious, and I love that. So talk about, your story and how you came to be and what you do.
Yeah, so I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. My grandpa was a businessman, and I married a business family. So I worked at my husband's family business. So I never worked a 9 to 5. Yeah, we did business. We had a business when we were in college. So it was just, that was our background. But I think as an Asian child, I really lived the life of how our parents wanted us to be, or, how we thought society deemed us successful, right? We made some money as we were young. We seemed successful, but we weren't, or at least I wasn't happy and feeling aligned. So I always felt behind. I always felt like I was chasing something ahead of me and I can never reach there. So even though I had straight A's in school, I dropped myself out of high school because I felt I was still behind. I wanted to enter society sooner. I just wanted to do all the things, right? And I hustled my way through a community college, got myself into UCLA, interned at the most prestigious financial office in Century City, Los Angeles. I was interning for my bosses who were making millions of dollars, right? All it seemed good on the outside. And I worked in all types of businesses, but through it all, didn't feel truly happy on the inside. There was always something missing, and I was always behind. I never knew coaching was a career. Growing up, especially as an Asian, I felt like, or at least when I talked to a lot of my friends, I felt like, or they felt like coaching was for celebrities. Like they were for the ultra reach or, for celebrity. So when I realized coaching was a career, I was like, oh my goodness, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, because it makes me happy when I can help another soul, right? Even if it just be one person. And that's for that reason. That's why I do everything I do now, because that makes me happy. If someone can listen to this podcast and find one thing I say today helpful or inspire you to make a difference in your life, that makes my life now. And that's what I do.
Yeah, I think the plight of the Asian, it's a really like my nephew's generation is going to be fine because they've been shielded from it's kind of the trauma from my generation, your parents. It's quite interesting. You have to really talk to it. There's a lot of layers there. But what's interesting is you did it actually. So you've created this. You've taken your experience, from the Asian standpoint, entrepreneurship. And so one thing is talking about is this confidence. So, could be your gender confidence, could be your identity. Talk about cultivating unshakable confidence.
Oh, that is absolutely my favorite topic. I speak, I write, I do everything I do now around confidence because I believe it is the pillar of our life. It is the foundation of our house, this house called your life, right? Because it is a decision. Life is made up of all the decisions we add up. How you do one thing is how you do everything in life. And it's all come down to the decisions you make daily, right? Make decisions based on how you will thank yourself in the future for making those decisions. For example, I get interviewed on podcasts and people ask me, and then I tell them my story, and the host would be, "Oh, you made a really bold move. Wow, that was a confident move." But you know what? Every move I made, I didn't think of it that way. But it is those decisions that I made that moved me forward, right? And I think confidence is a muscle. It's a muscle that we can practice. And this is why I host a workshop called I Am Remarkable. It is a Google initiative and movement, and it practices our confidence and self-promotion skills because, accomplishments don't speak for themselves. You are amazing, Chris, right? All your guests are amazing, but you're not there because your accomplishments speak for themselves. You have to be choosing intentionally to be that version of you where you show up as that confident version of you. And everything you want in life is behind confidence, right? You want to be resilient. Okay, well, if you're confident that when you fall, you're going to be able to and find a way to work around things and to get up, that's your resilience muscle, right? If you are, you're successful on the outside, but you're not happy on the inside, well, then you have to be confident that you will be able to find your joy and that you can still succeed. You can still be impactful and make money while doing things that are fun. A lot of people forget to have fun. And I think that's the number one reason people fail to reach their goals, right? You're not having enough fun. Come on, Chris, are you having fun on this podcast?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
That is the only way you're going to keep the show going, right? So everything we do in life, work or our personal life, we got to think, how can we make it more fun, right? I have this goal in front of me. How can we make it more fun?
Yeah. I love that. And I think one of my other guests said the same thing yesterday. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm pretty sure that's from a Tony Robbins. It's true. It's like really. So you've embodied this, the successful entrepreneur and influencer now, and a lot of limiting beliefs from upbringing, from society. So talk about how you shattered those self-imposed limiting beliefs.
Oh, absolutely. All limiting beliefs are self-imposed. I call this the glass ceiling, right? And Asian people call it the bamboo ceiling, whatever you call it. Okay, there's a ceiling that you're imposing on top of your head that's imaginary and that's self-imposed. For example, my name is Lucy Liu. Okay, so that is obviously the name of a celebrity. And I grew up believing that I will never be somebody because she is so famous, because you just do not see a Beyonce or another Angelina Jolie or Julia Roberts. It's just not possible. So I will always be nobody. So actually in my 20s and 30s, I really just lived my life in autopilot. It was just work, sleep, work, sleep. There was nothing more to life because I felt like I wasn't important. I weren't important. There's not much to me left except for waiting for my dying days, because life was so automatic. It was just routine. But guess what? It all changed. And I get asked a lot, is there a turning point in your life, that you had this sudden epiphany? It's funny how I feel like I still can't think of an epiphany, turning point in my life, but I think it's really the small aha moments that added up to where I am today and to all the little decisions I made daily to change my life, to transform my life, to make it better, I'm content with where I am today, but yet I'm having fun reaching for my next goals. So I think there is a point where you decide that you consciously decide that you can change your life, and it's okay to shatter those limiting beliefs as long as you realize and have awareness for them. For example, again, my name, the story I tell myself, right? Am I using her name? Oh my gosh, there's like a million Lucy Liu's out there. And even when you search life coach Lucy Liu, well, now I come up right on Google. But back when I started coaching, there's other Lucy Liu coaches, right? There's millions of stories that you can tell yourself. And she's so amazing. The Lucy Liu, right? The Lucy Liu is so amazing. I love her. I can't even hate her. But at the same time, I don't want to self-sabotage myself, right? She's so talented. She's an actress, director, artist. Oh boy. But I wanted to, as a coach, because I am helping others, I want to shatter my own limiting beliefs too. That is why I intentionally tell myself, how can I shatter my limiting beliefs? So for one, I started my podcast and I just called it The Lucy Liu Show, right? I'm not going to think about, oh my goodness, am I using her name? Blah, blah, blah. The stories we tell herself. She's got an amazing podcast too. But it's not about me anymore. It's about me bringing value to my audience. So even if I have one listener, I'm going to help her. Right? If I'm thinking about me, me, then I'm going to worry. I'm going to worry about what people think of me, right? That made the biggest change. I used to be afraid because I live in Los Angeles. I used to be afraid to make restaurant reservations in my own name because people would be like, "Are you the Lucy Liu coming in?" I'm like, "No, sorry to disappoint you. I'm not the Lucy Liu." So yeah, I used to make reservations in my mom's name, but now I really truly embrace my identity. We're all unique, and so are you. If you're listening, watching, you are unique. That's why I'm an author now. And not only do I write books because I want to inspire others, but I want to be the product of what I preach. I believe, as the child of immigrants, because English isn't my first language, even though I had straight A's, in English class, I always felt still that my English isn't good enough. So that's something I used to tell myself, like, my English isn't good enough. Oh, I'm not native. My grammar's bad. I don't speak charismatically as I wish to. Now, when I say this, Chris, do you feel it's true?
No, I don't. I think you're very well spoken, very confident, very inspiring. So
that's exactly what a limiting belief is. Is a belief that you hold on to yourself for so long that you yourself believe to be the truth. And if so, all the thoughts you're going on in your head, if you were to tell me, I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? Yeah. That is so not true. Yeah. So I think that's another reason that I became an author, and I want to write in English so that I can shatter my own limiting beliefs and tell this story to whoever's listening that, you see, this is exactly what a limiting belief is, that whatever you think you're not enough, right? Any sentence that you see with the word enough, you probably need to rethink it, right? I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough blank. I'm not blank enough, right? For you, your story might be different. The circumstance might be different. The circumstances in life are all neutral. So we get to put a positive and negative spin to it. And I want to emphasize that enough is also a decision. It's not an amount.
I like that. I like that saying. That's very impactful. Enough is a decision. And yeah, because it's like, it kind of reminds me of, like my friends, they get perfect, and then they say, they would criticize themselves, like they would call themselves like, dumb, and really derogatory, or like beautiful people, they call themselves ugly, and it's like, it's like this what you're describing. Really fascinating. So you've like I said, we'll talk about how you've created the podcast and your books, and you've been author, and you're speaking, and you're passionate about helping other female entrepreneurs reach their goals. Tell us more about that and the activism that you're doing there.
Yes, it just brings me so much fulfillment in any medium that expresses inspiration to whoever, the universe brings into my life. So that makes me happy. That brings me joy. So I really urge everyone listening or watching to do things that makes you happy, right? Make a list of things that brings you joy, and it shouldn't feel like work. Like if you are a physician, you are helping the life of your patients, right? That's absolutely amazing, right? So anything you're doing, bring life into it, because this world need more alive people. That's it. Be alive and go for your dreams and have fun along the way.
Yeah, really powerful. And then, so how can people find you? I know you're on social media. You've got an active presence, and how they can check out your work, books, and so on.
Absolutely. Just follow along on social. I'm everywhere at the same handle. So if you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, at the end, it is always the same handle at MYLIU. That's Miss Lucy Liu. And if you are streaming this on a podcast platform, wherever you listen to podcasts, since you're on this platform already, might as well just go hit the search button and search for the Lucy Liu Show. It's a weekly, very short episodes, fueling station for your mind, business, and life.
Yeah, and very one of the very most inspiring guests, and very impactful, and so much more to offer. And for all the listeners out there, let's thank Lucy for coming on. All of her resources for her books, your podcast, YouTube, all of that will be in the links in the show notes to the right, Lucy Liu. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you again for having me. And to all the beautiful listeners, more blessings are coming your way.
I hope you really enjoyed that wonderful, inspirational, motivational piece. Again, wherever you are listening, if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Audible. And without much ado, be sure to thank this show's sponsors, and we'll see you next week.